go ahead and take out your notebook for College Planner. Let's go ahead and write today's date. Our lesson today is called Common Reasons to Go to College. Common reasons. Okay, common reasons to go to college. In our last lesson, I asked you why you wanted to go to college. Today I'm going to give you the common reasons of going to college. Our goal for this lesson is to identify common reasons for going to college. That's kind of obvious. Okay. Why go to college at all? That's a common question that some students ask. Why bother? It's so expensive. Well, a college education is necessary for many jobs today, even for entry-level positions. Some of the fastest growing segments of the job market require advanced education. Some common reasons for going to college. Well, the number one reason that people go to college is to get a good job. The most common reason students give is in order to get a good job. For many people, even Christians, that means a good paying job. In fact, an education that comes with 4 years of college often means extra income as well. Well, the extra income is the second reason that most people go to college is more money. Let's be clear about the income issue. True success is not based on your income or the size of your house or any of the other indicators that the world looks at when labeling a person as successful. According to 1 Samuel 16:7, God looks on the heart. It is true in the days of Saul and David, and it's just as true today. True success is based on your obedience to God. Okay, true success is not based on money. True success is based on obedience to God. It's not based on money. However, it has been said that you can do more good with money than without it. If you think of missions organizations, Christian colleges and universities, publishing houses, even your local church, how much would they have accomplished for Christ without money? One very familiar verse of Scripture that discusses money is 1 Timothy 6:10. Paul is telling Timothy the love of money is the root of all evil. You know, money's not a sin. It's not a sin to be wealthy, but it is a sin when it causes us to love money more than God. When money becomes our top priority. So we're talking about the common reasons to go to college. The number one reason is to get a good job. The number two reason is more money. And we talked about how true success is based on obedience to God. It's not based on money. Well, there's a fine line that's sometimes difficult to walk. On one hand, wealth is a blessing from God, and on the other hand, wealth sometimes leads to pride. The Scripture also tells us that it's harder for a wealthy man to enter into heaven than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. And I want you to picture this. We have this little bitty needle here. I'm going to warn you, I can't draw. Okay, that's a needle. Then you have this great big, I'll tell you what, since I can't draw, I'm just going to draw a huge rectangle here. You're going to imagine that it's a camel. Can you imagine this huge rectangle going through that little bitty eye of the needle? Okay. In other words, great wealth can tempt us to focus solely on the world and hinder us from developing a relationship with God. Any way you look at it, money should never be your main goal in attending college. Choosing your education and future occupation should be guided by God and His will, as well as your abilities and talents, not by the dollar. Okay? Our main goal should not be money. Okay, well, another good reason that people give for going to college is a good education. How many of these reasons did you give in the last lesson when I asked why you wanted to go to college? Did you say to get a good job? Did you say to make more money? Or did you say a good education? What was your answer? Well, what does that really mean? What is a good education? Well, an education, is it an education that trains you just for a specific trade, much like an apprenticeship? Or is a good education one that introduces you to the great writers and thinkers of history, with an overview of math and science, history and philosophy, art, music? Well, I lost my place. At the end of the 20th century, statistics told us that the average employee would change occupations between 5 and 8 times in his or her life. This wasn't a change of employers. This was a total change of careers or fields of endeavor. People who start out as businessmen end up as pastors. Others who begin their professional lives as insurance salesmen may later become writers or ranchers. Compare this to the business world of the 1950s and 60s, when employees were normally loyal and devoted to one company, one employer, one boss for their entire working life. Things sure have changed, haven't they? Just how important is an education? What that question really asks is this: is education alone enough to succeed in today's world? Well, we know it's not. There's an old saying that says, in order to be successful, you need hard work and persistence. Education alone isn't enough. The world is full of educated derelicts. Just being educated doesn't guarantee success. There are homeless people wandering the streets of our cities with advanced college degrees. Some even have PhDs. Okay. Okay. So an education isn't a good an education alone. Let's do it that way. Alone isn't enough to help education alone enough to succeed. Isn't enough to succeed. So just having an education isn't going to help you succeed. We need hard work and persistence. We need hard work and persistence. One of the arguments against getting a college education goes something like this: just because it's expected of us is no reason to spend 4 years of our lives and thousands of dollars going to school. Just because the rest of the world is going off to college doesn't mean that I should do the same thing. After all, Scripture tells us, be not conformed to this world. We shouldn't do it just because the rest of society is doing it. On the other hand, as Christians, we are called to be in the world, not of it. If we aren't in the marketplace, in the industries, in the professions, in the schools, how can we impact them for Christ? Our ability to let our light shine before men is, to a large degree, based on our presence in the world. We have to be before men in order for our light to shine before men. It's a fact, a college education is often required in order to get into the marketplace, the industries, professions, and the schools. For many of us, a college education is part of the process of preparing for ministry in the world. Okay, we said the third most common reason that people go to college is for a good education, and we talked about how an education alone isn't enough to succeed. We need hard work and persistence. Okay, go ahead and study your notes. Let me see your notes and answer the questions.